How Hong Kong became unrecognizable. I wanted to shoot this video to fill you in on the current political situation in Hong Kong. We're going to talk about the current situation in terms of freedom, in terms of restrictions. We're talking about what China has been doing to Hong Kong over the past years. For those of you who are not familiar with the history of Hong Kong, it used to be a British colony. In fact, UK's last colony. UK has given up on all their territorial gains over the past decades and over the past century. Foreigners and Hong Kongese have been leaving Hong Kong for a better land. They've been looking for a better place, for a better country, because Hong Kong has lost most of its appeal in just a few short years. If we take a look at what happened during the COVID situation, during the COVID pandemic, right now China is still in a pandemic. Right now, a lot of foreigners are saying, you know what, before I live in Hong Kong, I'd rather live somewhere in Africa because I'm going to have more freedom over there. Right now, people can't even leave their home to go for a walk. What has Hong Kong turned into? It has turned into a very unpleasant, uncomfortable environment to live in, not just for foreigners, but for locals as well. And it's gotten to a point where they say, you know what, I can't take it anymore. It's no longer the democratic ran jurisdiction that it once was. And with China installing a puppet politician, a chosen politician, of course, which obviously goes against the contract that Great Britain had in place with Hong Kong and actually China, which outlines that if China does not honor democracy, then Great Britain has the right to take Hong Kong back and rule it again. But we aren't really seeing too much pressure applied by the British because China has just been an overwhelming force over the past decades. What is going on? We're not seeing changes for the better. We're seeing changes for the worse. And if it's so bad that even locals, that even Hong Kongese are leaving the jurisdiction, you kind of know that things have gotten really bad, really bad. I think one of the reasons why China is unwilling to abandon its zero COVID policy is because it gives China so much strength, so much ruling power. Because right now with the pandemic, China has a good excuse to apply the same rules on Hong Kong using its installed puppet politician, and that's exactly what they're doing. So they want to brainwash, and they are, not just that they want to do it, they are brainwashing people, they are controlling people to a T. The thing is that there is a transition going on right now. The people that are in Hong Kong, they know what it was like to live there, because they have lived there for years and many even decades and even half a century. So they know exactly what the jurisdiction was all about. I'll never forget the moment when I was in Hong Kong to open up my offshore company, which was a very good experience for quite some time. I flew there, had a fantastic experience. I think Hong Kongese, that was back in 2014, Hong Kongese were so educated, knowledgeable about so many different things, about culture, about history, very business-minded, very intellectual people, smart, just bright people. And I never forget how I went there and opened up the company, and the people I dealt with, from the accounting firm, from my agency, all the way to the bank. And I was really grateful that I had formed that company in Hong Kong until a couple of years later when China started to apply more and more pressure. And something that they did, I'll never forget, which was that they moved one of the tax departments that I had to deal with for my yearly accounting, for my tax returns for the company. They moved that department from Hong Kong to mainland China. And I'll never forget how the system changed. It was such an easy process before, but once they moved that department to mainland China, what happened was that they started asking for a lot of proof of invoices sent. So they didn't just ask for, like sales invoices. They asked for proof that I actually sent that out, which never happened before. And I have had that company in Hong Kong for some time back then. And obviously I had friends, actually a friend of mine recommended me to set up their company. And, so many people were just upset and they were shocked by the changes applied at so many different levels, and then I was at a point where I just had no other choice but to close the company. So China is applying this pressure right now, thanks to the pandemic. They just want to control the people there. They want to control the people. They want to get a good grip and they got them, you know, they got them. And I think the pandemic was just the best thing to happen to mainland China, to get that grip, not just on Hong Kong, but also Taiwan. You know, they want to do something with Taiwan, and we're going to see over the next couple of years and possibly the next couple of months how this is going to pan out, if they're going to do something major or if they're going to hold back and try influencing in a different way to see if that's going to have any success. China's 99-year lease strategy has been affecting the Southeast Asia for a long time. You know, they have applied it in Sri Lanka, they have applied it in Cambodia. They're gonna do the 99-year lease. They typically do it for ports because they want to have strategic ports all over the world, not just in Southeast Asia, but they want to have those strategic ports in Africa, in Europe, so China is gonna be much better connected to the world. The nation can't pay back its debts over time, then China would be allowed to own these ports forever. That's the overall strategy, as much as it is a strategy to, you know, build colonies in, for instance, Africa, to take the minerals and to offer infrastructure in return. So China is just a very strategic trader. You know, they know what they're doing. They know how to get poorer countries sucked in because poorer countries have needs. And if China offers a solution to fill those needs, then those countries are going to have no other choice but to say yes. And it's a strategy that's been working very well for China, and I think it's going to continue to work. Something that's definitely not good for those countries, because, you know, those countries right now are run by politicians, corrupt politicians, and not so forward-thinking politicians. They only care about their own personal profits and not how the country is going to stand in a couple years' time or in a few decades' time. What do you think about the future of Hong Kong? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, visas, crypto advice, and business advice several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a free copy of my ebook, Nomad Elite, the Insider's Guide to Retaining a Life of Freedom. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.